Coach Schramm, what did you like today that you saw?
Well, we'll go back and watch the film, and watch, certain guys that we need to develop, and we need to get better. So, I thought the competition was good. I think guys got after it pretty good. So, we'll go back and watch the film and keep going.
How different is it from
Well, it's quite a bit different. The guys got a chance to be a first-round draft choice. It's quite a bit different not having IB. It's quite a bit different not having Marshall and Austin Wentworth and Devontae. But that's college football, right? I mean, when guys move on, then guys got to step up. So, we're developing that depth right now. It was a good spring, and we just got to. Yeah, I would say that that's true to this point, but it's not a sprint. I mean, it's a marathon. There's a lot left to do. We got a lot of work to do, and there's a long way to go. So, but pleased with Brian, pleased with how he handles himself, pleased with how he studies and how he works. He's just got to get a little bit more consistent, which I think comes with reps. But that's the same thing with all of them, right? The issue is when you're a quarterback, there's only one guy getting reps most of the time, So, that's the decision we got to make.
What were the biggest things that you wanted to accomplish this entire spring?
Well, I think number one, we had to develop, some depth. We had to make some decisions on who are those guys that are going to fill in for those guys that we lost. Who's our left tackle going to be? Who's our left guard going to be? Who is going to play tight end? All those things. And I think we've got a better idea. I wouldn't say that we're ready to make a decision on any of those yet, but at least we got a better idea than we had when spring ball started. I think we handled the tempo extremely well, much better than I thought we would. Derek being here the last couple of years, I think those guys did a nice job learning from him, and so we were able to handle tempo situations well. And again, we put our guys in stressful situations, so we got to learn and carry from what we learned in the spring in the fall camp in terms of taking care of the football and running the offense and doing the things we got to do to be successful.
Today we saw a handful of turnovers, and Coach Schramm was talking about too many dropped passes. Do you worry at all when it's a lot of new guys that stuff like that hurts the confidence on a day like today?
No, I don't worry about that. Guys got to make plays. That's the deal. And this offense is always going to be about the players. And we'll find players. I mean, we'll have guys that can make plays. And I'm not worried about that at all. We got plenty of good players. So it's just that when the time comes, they got to step up. And I believe we're good enough, and they will.
Coach, with the quarterbacks, how reflective were their performances today of what you've seen all spring? Anyone overperform or play under than what you expected?
No, I think it's a learning process every day. I mean, it's you got to understand. I mean, we don't really, we're installing stuff all spring long, and everything we do is designed to get ready for the season. So, there's steps involved. What we did this spring leads us into what we're going to do in fall camp and what we're going to do, for the season. So, we're installing, the defense is installing, so, we don't really spend a whole lot of time thinking about how we're going to defend this or that or how we're going to attack this or that. We're just trying to implement the schemes that we know we're going to need to run when the season starts. So, I think today was, they get a chance to show, their poise more important than anything. And today there were times where we did and times we didn't.
Coach, Dylan out there, he looked absolutely phenomenal out there. How has the switch over to the offensive side of the ball been for him this season, or this past spring?
Well, we moved him over late. He was with you. He was an offensive player. And then we got banged up really bad at corner last year. And Dylan's been a great special teams player, and he was just behind some guys on offense. And so, Coach DeRuiter said, hey, do you think Dylan Root could help us on defense? And I said, hey, guy's an athletic guy, and he plays good on special teams. So, yeah, take him if you need him, and if he can help us win, So we went through the spring, and some guys went by him, and it was really his idea. He wanted to come back and play on offense. So, he gives us something. Obviously we had some guys chipped up in spring ball, so it gave us a little bit more depth. And it was good for him because it wasn't like it was a whole bunch of new install and he was playing a position he never played before. I mean, he's been playing that position, just midway through the season, got to go. So, but we'll see in fall camp, how we progress.
And finally, as you look at, you mentioned that you have guys, you kind of have an idea of where they are in terms of this quarterback competition, but then you also brought up the reps. How much coming out of spring ball and sort of having an idea of where that depth chart is and being able to get those reps to the right guys, see how they develop, how much of that will be helpful to seeing the development of the offense into the fall?
Well, it will be. And again, I mean, we put them in situations so we can learn too as coaches what they can and can't do. I mean, we're not going to ask our quarterback to do all the stuff Derek did last year, and Derek didn't do all the stuff in our first year that he did last year. So there's you got to crawl a little bit before you walk. And so but what are those things they can do? Well, there's only one way we can find out, and that's put them in those situations and put them in those schemes and see what they can handle and what they can't. So it's all a process, and we'll. As we go into the summer and we start making our plans for fall camp and we go into fall camp, then we'll be able to make a better decision.
One last question, Coach.